Hello everyone, welcome to Maria's Ideas Teaches Us to Paint. This is episode 13, 2024. This is a short video, just a short tutorial to draw this design, which we will be airing and showing as we film it at our studio. We are in Pittsburgh, PA, in the Southside Slopes. We film our show monthly for BPTV, which is Bethel Park Cable TV channel, which airs on BPTV monthly on their YouTube channel and on my YouTube channel at Maria's Ideas Art. I do design each piece to kind of, it's inspired by our guests, if we have a guest. Most often we do. And our guests are chosen by maybe something that interesting that they do, or great things they do for the community, where we love to inspire and promote good people doing good things. So this is called Go with the Flow. So this year we're going to kick it up a notch. When I design things, we're going to have a little more fun. Now, polar bears don't live in Pittsburgh. This is the Pittsburgh skyline. Now, but you know, he's on an iceberg. There was an iceberg. This was taken from, this was inspired by a photograph. Our guest who photographed this actual picture will be painting this with us. And he said, why don't we put a polar bear in there? So this is what I envisioned. And then I said, well, if we're putting a polar bear in there, we have to put a black and gold scarf around his neck to pull in the colors of the city. So this is what we're going to paint. This episode right now is to draw this design. If you get art kits through us, the design is included, or you just watch, most of them you just watch the video and just learn how to draw it yourself. You can certainly adjust it in any way that you choose. We use 11 by 14 canvas panels, and you can adjust, again, like I said, you can use smaller, larger. We just create a grid on our canvas here. I'm using a watercolor pencil. If you're going to draw on your canvas, I suggest a watercolor pencil, which will melt back into your design when it gets activated with the paint. If you use a graphite pencil, just keep it very light. I'm doing this darker to enable you to see it better. Also, I do co-produce and co-host this with my friend Alan Levine. So if you watch the show, you'll get to meet Alan too. So let's see. We divided in half horizontally and vertically, and then in half again. So we ended up with 14 rectangles. So what we're going to do is establish our lines for the city and where the bridges are. So right above, just above center, I'm going to draw another line. Let's see, I'm going to do this in purple. Maybe it'll show up a little differently here. And this is our shoreline where the bridges come down and then you see the city. So all we're going to do is establish the line. We're coming in from the left side and cross over this first section here, and then coming up a little bit further here and coming down. So these represent the bridges, okay? That's all we're going to draw. Most of it gets done when we paint. Put two little lines right here, and this will become, that will be the bridge. This is the deck of the bridge here. Most of the detail gets done whenever we paint. I think I just said that. All right, so that will be our other bridge here. Okay, so there, that's our bridges are going. And then the buildings, just lay in some rectangles. Okay, and we have some, just, they don't have to be exact. This is just a hint of the city in the background. The polar bear is actually pretty important here. So we're just kind of laying in these shapes that pick out some of the buildings. Now this is a little bit different view than you typically see from the point, which is a very beautiful place and popular to see the city. But this is from the North Shore, I believe. And then, so you can see I'm just laying in, real rough, just laying in our shapes. Okay, and then we have our last one here. And we're going to block these in when we paint. We can add little details, subtle hints of different colors, but that just gives us our city. The reflections come in when we paint that. All of that gets done when we paint. Now let's get to our polar bear. So the iceberg is very, very important. So this photograph that our friend took, the iceberg was just like this. This is a photograph. I simplified it somewhat and then obviously added the polar bear. So this was the big sheet of ice on the river here. So let's see. We're going to come here and come across. You can see where I'm starting about almost in the middle of this one, crossing over, coming this way, and then there's like a chunk of ice, another chunk of ice that was laying here, all the way over to this last rectangle, and then it just kind of fades back up into there. And then there was another chunk of ice kind of laying here. So there's our iceberg. All right. Now for the polar bear, we're going to, let's start with his head, because we want to make sure we have him placed right about, he's going to be right, I'll make a circle about on this canvas, 11 by 14. That's about not quite the size of a quarter, maybe a little bit bigger than a nickel. All right, and then his little ears, his little muzzle here, just another circle, and then his nose will go here, which you really don't even have to paint these things right now because you would be kind of blocking this in and painting them over top, but just to show you how he is coming to life here, that might help that I did put that on there. And then the scarf is going to be right up under his face, and then we're going to bring it around like this. All right, and you can make it longer, you could put little tassels on it, you can make it a different color, but that's his head with the scarf. Okay, we can also adjust this as we need to. His body is going to be just an oval, nice arch here. Okay, and then you can even do something like this if you choose. Make sure you get that nice shape. That's his belly, and then big strong legs kind of come in. This one's down here, his big feet, and then the other leg is here because it's behind this one, and his back leg will be here. You can see how I'm just connecting the shapes and adding. And when we paint, you know, we aren't necessarily worried about everything looking so hyper realistic or no. We just like to have fun and make it your own. Now he looks maybe a little, I think he'll be okay. You can always adjust everything as we paint. So there's your polar bear on the iceberg, and then the reflections and everything, that all gets done when we paint. All right, so if you watch for the episode in January, that will be, they usually air in the end of the first week or mid-month. So this is called Go With The Flow, inspired by our friend and very well-known photographer. This was from one of his photographs, inspired by that. So see you next year, and actually I should say see you this year, because you'll be seeing this in January. So thank you for watching. We appreciate it, and remember, follow the pickle. He'll teach you how to do it. All right, thanks. See ya.